Hi, welcome back guys. This video is gonna take a little bit of a serious turn, but I still think it's something I want to talk about and put it out there. Talking about the stereotypes that are still around everywhere about heavily tattooed women. And I'm going to be debunking these stereotypes a little bit, if that's what I can say. So the first question is why there are stereotypes about heavily tattooed women and not so much about men. So the tattoos and the tattooing industry started off way back, and it was mostly men in that industry. So men were getting tattoos and men were doing tattoos. It wasn't very popular for women to get tattooed, and over the time, of course, everything changes. Women got into the industry as well, started tattooing, started getting tattooed, and I think, like, of course, 50 years ago, that was a much more rebellious thing to do, to get tattooed, than it is now, because now a lot of women have tattoos nowadays, like even a small tattoo, I don't know, wherever. But today I want to talk about more about the heavily tattooed women, where our tattoos are more visible, and yeah, you know what I mean. But still, girls that have tattoos, even small ones, I think they can relate with the situations I'm about to talk about. Even though we're like living in a very modern society nowadays, and tattoos is nothing that rebellious and weird anymore. So, but still, there are some stereotypes and things that are just hanging around out in the world, which I just wanted to talk about, you know? The first thing that pops into my mind was a situation that happened to me, but it's an overall also kind of a stereotype that I wanted to apply for a job. I remember reading like the requirements you have to apply for the job or to get the job, and one of the points was that if you are a lady, you can't have any tattoos, but if you're a guy, you can be tattooed everywhere. And that kind of sticked out to me. I mean, okay, there are specific fields where no one can be tattooed, neither men or women, but then there was this like, women can be tattooed, but men can't, because when men are tattooed, that's tough, that's sexy, but when women are tattooed, that's terrible, that's vulgar, that's just disgusting, nobody will find you attractive, and that's very sexist, I think. And why can't a girl be feminine even if she has a lot of tattoos? That's not a rule. Okay, the fact that maybe somebody doesn't like it, sure. And okay, maybe that was a requirement because it wasn't because of the staff, but maybe because of the customers that come in and they could complain about a beautiful lady having tattoos, even though I think a lot of people find tattooed women attractive as anyway, even, you know what I mean, like. But still, I've heard that there have been complaints that, like, if guys have tattoos, that's tough and cool, but if ladies have tattoos, it's just terrible. Then there's this another, it's not, I don't think it's a stereotype, but still it's kind of a stereotype that I have heard people say to me and to others that, oh my goodness, you have a lot of tattoos, what will you do when you have children? And I'm like, I'm just gonna be a mom. The same way when people ask me when I'm gonna be old. And people are like, but you're gonna scare your kids and oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know. Maybe my child is born and he suddenly doesn't like my tattoos. But I don't think that's the thing that I would be afraid about. I mean, if you love your child and you take care of him and do whatever, I don't think he cares what you look like. I mean, he grows up looking at you, and people will be starting to say to me that I'm gonna be a bad influence to my own kid because I have tattoos, but tattoos are nothing bad. It's not like I'm doing drugs in front of him. That would be a bad influence, but I don't think tattoos or piercings are a bad influence, as long as when they grow up and they tell me that they want a tattoo or a piercing and they let me take them to a good place, I'm fine with that, as long as they don't do it in a basement when they're 12, you know? But yeah, the fact that I won't be a good mom because I have tattoos is also a very stupid thing to say. It's weird. It would be the same thing to say that you wouldn't be a good mom if you have red hair or if you have colored hair or like something completely stupid like that, which is just your appearance. It doesn't change who you are as a person inside, you know? What I'm saying just gets me frustrated and just, I think it's really weird. Another thing would be that, like about heavily tattooed girls, and I have friends that have also tattoos, and some of the tattoos are just like monsters and I don't know, other weird things on them, and people are gonna say that, but you look like a dude because your tattoos are not feminine enough. What does that even mean, not feminine enough? It means if I want tattoos, I have to get only flowers and hearts and little girly stuff? Like, what? I can still be feminine even if I have monsters tattooed on me, you know? And I think that's just weird that, yeah. Because I also have the monster on my stomach and people are like, you're gonna scare your kid, first of all. I'm not gonna be walking around naked all the time anyway. And second of all, that's not feminine. And I have the monster on my leg as well. And it's like, that's not very girly and that just looks weird. And I mean, if you want to look like a girl, you don't have to have tattoos at all. Or if you want tattoos, then you just get like a nice flower or a mandala or, I mean, come on. If somebody wants tattoos, they're just gonna get what they want. And like if a guy gets, I don't know, hearts or flowers tattooed, nobody is gonna tell him he's gay or not masculine enough, you know? Like, that's just, I find that funny. Why? Like, why? We should be able to make our own choices on what we want and not get called out on it, you know? So the next thing is that often heavily tattooed ladies, women, girls, get called out on the fact that you have a lot of tattoos. One, you're probably into BDSM, or second of all, you really like pain. And you're like a masochist, you know what I mean? And I find that weird because why would you think that? I know that there are out there a lot of ladies that are heavily tattooed and they're into that stuff, and props to you, you know, you do you. But sometimes it's just weird that people just assume that you're easygoing or you love that or you do that just because you have tattoos, even if you haven't spoke to the person yet. And the fact that I love pain because I have a lot of tattoos is not true. Pain still doesn't feel good to me, you know? I just don't understand why would you assume that if I have tattoos, I'm a freak. And I am a freak maybe in some ways, but that doesn't mean I am into some certain stuff just because I have tattoos. I mean, if you're a guy and you have tattoos, nobody assumes anything about you. Maybe that you're like a little bit tougher than the rest of the dudes. And this one actually, it's funny. Someone asked me, what are you gonna do at your wedding? I'm not getting married anytime soon. I don't know when, whatever, but when someone's like, well, a lot of girls dream about their wedding since they have been a little kid, and I mean, they have this amazing picture in their heads with the white dress and everything, and you have tattoos, I mean, doesn't it destroy your dream? Like, what dream? I've always wanted to be tattooed, and I don't think I have ever like fantasized about getting married until just recently. So the first wedding that I have actually been to was my mom's and stepdad's wedding, and that was when I was around 11 years old. But before that, I have never fantasized about me getting married or having a white dress and all that fairy tale stuff. So yeah, so I don't know, because other of my little girl friends when I was smaller had that vision, and even then people will still ask me and ask other girls especially, what are you gonna look like at your wedding? I mean, you won't be pure and clean and white and won't look good. Why wouldn't I look good with tattoos at my wedding? I'm even looking forward to looking amazing in a white dress at my wedding with tattoos. I don't know why people like don't like tattoos. So like, in my opinion, tattoos are an ultimate form of self-expression, and I don't think that should be like gendered. I don't think that it would be okay for men to be tattooed wherever, however they want. I know men still get judgment as well for that, as of course, like everyone gets judgment for tattoos at some point, but good or bad judgment. But still, it's like, I don't think it should be that if men have a lot of tattoos, that's okay, and if women have a lot of tattoos, there's a lot of things that go into that. But I mean, it's nowadays, and everything gets more and more acceptable. So it's not like I'm talking and this is just so serious and it's so devastating. And there's some things that just bug me, and I wanted to talk about that. But it's not like, oh my god, I'm sure I could add a lot to this topic and just talk about it for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, but this was like a little part of it that I wanted to just get out there. And I really hope you liked it. And if you have anything, I don't know, to say or to mention, leave in my comments. I try to reply to each and one of you. And I really appreciate the support. So this is probably it for this video. Stay strong. I love you all. Bye.